Greetings. I am Monster D. Are you feeling creepy and crawly today? However do you feel about worms? Would you like to draw some worms with me? Come on, let us get to the squirmy scribbling. Have you ever seen a worm before? Here, I'm going to start drawing worms. How many different kinds of worms do you think there are? Have you seen very many different kinds of worms? How do you tell different kinds of worms apart from one another? What kind of worm do you think this is right here? I'll put some little lines on there. And how do you tell a worm from other kinds of animals? Does a worm have legs? Do you see legs on a worm usually? But do you see legs on a snake? How is a snake different from a worm? So there's a worm right there. What kind of worm is that? Have you seen a worm like that before on the ground? Is that an earthworm? Earthworm, huh? Very cool. When do you usually see earthworms? When do they usually come out by themselves? When you see earthworms, is it usually hot outside? Or is it usually cool outside? Is it usually dry when you see earthworms? Or is it usually wet? What kind of weather do you think they like? What do you think an earthworm eats? Well, that is an earthworm. Nice, friendly, basic worm. Shall I draw another kind of worm for you? All right, here we go. I'm going to start right here. So, I guess there are different kinds of worms, huh? How many different kinds of worms do you think there are? How do you know that different kinds of worms are all worms? Let's see if I'm even getting this right. Let's see here. What kind of worm do you think I am drawing now? What kind of worm is that? Have you ever seen a worm like that before? Is that a flatworm? Have you heard of a flatworm before? Now, why would they ever call it a flatworm? What do you think the worm would look like if it was looking straight at you? Might it look something like this? A flatworm, huh? Is a flatworm still a worm? Is the flatworm and the earthworm cousins? Do they look at all alike? Interesting. Shall I draw another worm? All right, well, here we go. Here comes another worm. Where do you think are the best places to go to find worms? Or do different worms live in different places? Any idea what kind of worm I might be drawing now? Do you think worms are... How do you feel about worms when you see worms? Do you think they're cool? Do they scare you? Do they make you feel weird? Do you enjoy... Have you ever picked up a worm? If you have picked up a worm, most likely the earthworm, what did it feel like to pick that up? Did it feel warm or did it feel cold? Did it feel dry or did it feel wet? All right. I think this marker is running low, which if you know me means that's a good time to start coloring with it. Look at that. Have you seen a worm like this down here before? What kind of a worm is this? Sort of a wide or a fat worm there, isn't it? What kind is it? Is that a leech? Oh, have you ever seen a leech before? What do leeches do? Do you think it would be a good idea to pick a leech up? Do you know that leeches can bite and they like to bite? Why do you think a leech might want to bite you? Is that okay? How do you think you could keep away from getting bitten by a leech? What kinds of places do you think they live in? Have you ever encountered a leech? How does the leech look similar or different from the earthworm or the flatworm? Do you think it's more like the flatworm or more like the earthworm? What do you think? Do earthworms bite? Have you ever seen or heard of an earthworm biting anybody? Why do you think an earthworm would not bite somebody, but a leech would? What does the leech need? Hey, how about I draw one more kind of worm? Are you ready for something truly strange? As if these are not strange enough. All right, well, here we go. What is one of the strangest animals that you have ever encountered? Was it a kind of worm or was it something else? Have you ever come across a creature that you're not sure whether or not it might be a worm? Like it might be, but you don't know? Do you think there are creatures that are called worms sometimes that maybe are not? Do you ever hear people call a bunch of different kinds of animals by kind of the same name? Or call one animal a bunch of different names? Like a roly-poly, or a pill bug, or a sow bug, or a woodlouse. Those are all names for one creature. Did you know that? Interesting, huh? How many names do you think this thing has? Do you know earthworms by any other names? Have you ever heard them called night crawlers? Have you ever heard a worm called an annelid? All right, I don't know if I'm getting this totally right, but I think I'm getting it a little bit right. So what kind of worm do you think that is? You see those teeth? Ooh, I bet I can add some color to those teeth. Let me see here. Just a little bit to really show them off. Those teeth are made of metal, a metal called copper. It's very, very hard. A worm's usually hard or soft. So what kind of a worm would have teeth like that? This they call a bloodworm. Ooh, why do you think they call that a bloodworm? Does it have something to do with its color? Perhaps I should color it, huh? Anyway, pretty cool worm, huh? Well, I thank you for looking at worms with me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay monsters, and won't you please give me a nice monster? Bing!